Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Rochelle Lyd Smith and I'm from Stamping Flair. I'm based in Melbourne, Australia. Thanks for joining me on World Card Making Day. I hope you have been enjoying yourselves and enjoying all the other presentations today and having lots of creative inspiration. Today I am working with the Peaceful Place suite, which has the Peaceful Cabin bundle, and it has a lovely stamp set, some dies. You get some beautiful paper which has some silver through it, some white organdy ribbon, and some sequins in the whole suite. I will be creating with some of those products. I have got a card that I have made, but I mainly want to show you some techniques that you can use on other projects as well. So you can create this card as well as you can carry that through to your other designs as well. So I'll just turn the camera around so you can take a look. This is the stamp set and which we are working with, and we'll be using some of these stamps and the accompanying dies. I'll be also using my mini stamping cut and emboss machine, and you will because those dies fit in that, and just some other little bits and pieces. This is the card that I have made. So although I won't be making this in entirety today, I will be sharing with you some tips and how I created that. So for our initial step, we need 3 greens. Select whichever green you like. I have gone with soft sea foam, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. And I have also got 2 pieces of shimmery white cardstock. I'll just take that light out, that might work better. And the shimmery white cardstock, I've cut it to a length of or to a width or that would fit in my embossing machine, so the mini one. So I'll keep my darkest color here, which is evening evergreen. We've got soft succulent and soft sea foam. So get yourself some grid paper, and we'll pull that aside. Get myself some tissue to wipe my water painter. So you need a water painter. So our water painters come in packs of 3 with 3 different widths, so you get a nice selection there. I've created a wash, so I've dropped some ink refill here, and the water, just with the water, just create a nice wash. So it's quite sorry, I'm just gonna adjust that lighting so it's a bit nicer and brighter. Let me see what I can do. That's a bit brighter, isn't it? That's better. So we'll just that bit of washi tape doesn't want to get off me. Here we are. So we're just creating a wash. This is soft sea foam. So I've got 2 pieces, and I'll tell you why I've got that, and as I go along. So this is just a bit of an all over kind of swish, and if you don't have an ink refill for any particular color, you can always use a clear block, stamp it directly onto your stamp pad and create a palette like that. So you can see me dropping a fair bit of water there to create my wash. I'm just wanting different shades on this. So this is shimmery white cardstock, as I said, and I've got the 2 pieces mainly also because they can fit in the smaller machine. Now I'm going to my soft sea foam. I'm going to add some color there. And as I add it, you can see you're going to get some nice variation in color. And the idea is to do that, and you will get a multicolored tree when we die cut it. You can do this with flowers. You can mix pinks and yellows, but just when you do mix colors that are different, like these greens, it doesn't matter so much that I don't dry between. But if you do mix different colors, definitely let it dry, or speed up the process with the heat gun, because that'll just make for a better color. Otherwise it just gets quite it'll get muddy. Now I'm going to evening evergreen, darker color, so I'm just going to wash it lightly like that. Just a bit of shading towards the bottom. There's no right or wrong here. Now every piece is going to be different. So I'll leave that aside. Take my next piece. And I'm going to mainly go with my soft sea foam here. Okay, I had some evening evergreen left, but I'll create that. Just a swish of a wash, my technical term. I will add some of that soft sea foam to give that lighter color as well, but this is going to be my darker piece. So you can do several of these and then have it already all dried up for you when you want to use it. I am squeezing quite a bit of water as I go. And that'll just give it a nice wash. Now I'll bring in again some of that evening evergreen, and I'm going to make this a little bit darker. As these dry, it does change color. It does become a bit lighter in general watercoloring. It's not so dark. As you apply it, it does seem quite dark. But I love all the different ways how it looks and how it dries. Give it a clean. I'm just going to use the soft sea foam now and drop some of that color here and there, just so we get a bit of a more pine color going through. You could use some old olive or pizzazz if that's a color for adding that pine color. Anything works, whatever you like. It dries really well. Yeah, I will be using my heat gun just to show you what I do next. So just close this for the moment, and I will bring in my heat gun. So this is the second piece we've done. This is the first piece. It's getting there, but heat setting 1 for the heat gun. So you've got two very different pieces there, a darker and a lighter shade. So I'll start with the back, and it'll get a lot of the drying done like that. And it just helps with, so it's not warping so much either. Now at this stage I will show you something you can do. It's still slightly wet. If you decide to do this, it's going to give you a more watercolored washy look. So you can stamp on this as is. And if you had it more more liquid on it, it's going to be quite, this says damp. I'm using soft succulent, yeah. And if you use that water while it's still wet, it doesn't give you as crisp an image, so it gives you a little bit more of a washed out look. And here you'll see that section is still a little bit damp, so I will show you what happens there. And you can see how that changes, right? It just merges that color a bit. So by doing that background, you are getting more depth onto your image, so you're getting nice color, nice variation in color. So that's just a little tip for you, and once you die cut, you can always use those bits as well. I'll try the other piece. I'm gonna dry this a little more, then you will see how it does appear. I love this technique just for the variation it can give in your color. Don't hold the heat gun too much in one spot. It can sometimes change color. It's gone a bit darker there. So for these are the trees I probably want at the back of my scene. So I will stamp it in Evening Evergreen. So the previous piece I stamped in Soft Succulent. I'm going to stamp 2 lots for my card, because I did cut apart some and did create 2 lots. I'll leave them aside, and I will show you the die cutting and how it turns out. In the meantime, we're going to stamp our cabin just on basic white in Early Espresso ink. So this is another little tip to share with you. So Early Espresso does give a nice picks up all the nice details of the cabin, but I feel you can use it like that and it has lovely detail. I wanted to add a little bit more character to this piece, so I brought in soft suede stamping blends, and I've also got some cinnamon cider. So coloring on top of your stamping gives more depth to our color. So I'm using the light soft suede at the moment. I'm just going to go through and color all these bits, and that snow is going to become just a basic roof. For our cabin in the woods, not so wintry, and bring in my brush tip. I'll go like that, and I'll shade it in a little bit as well, but just to get the majority of the coloring done. Makes you look like an artist, our stamp says. They've got all the beautiful detail, and you don't have to really do anything extra. I'm just adding this as just for detail. Now I've initially thought, oh, I'll just add soft suede, and then I wanted a bit more color and depth to that color, so I added some cinnamon cider, and that did change that look even more. I'm going to bring in the brush tip and just doing some flicks, and they do blend in. You can see how that makes a difference to add some warmth to that soft suede, and just so then you're getting that variation for of the logs there. Got to color this, we'll color that. A bit more darker color here. As you do mix colors, it will blend. You just gotta keep working with it, and sometimes leaving stamping blends to dry. Once you color it, just leave it a few seconds and it does change a little bit, the color. So give it time to work its magic. So I'm back with this light soft suede here, just nicely blending that color in. So there's no lines, so to speak. I've got some soft sea foam, yeah, and just recoloring that bit. So instead of snow, it's more grass. And that will do. You can cut the colors some more if you like. Actually, I'm going to do a bit of soft succulent as well, so to add some shadow. Now we'll just do our die cutting, so you can see how this turns out. I'm trimming it down to size. So that fits like that. Gonna get some tape to hold that together. If I can find some in a hurry. If not, we will go with it. Didn't kind of. Sometimes I forget the tape because I'm used to doing it without. Okay, so I've got my mini stamping cut and emboss machine. This is a really good little machine which does it's great for traveling. It folds up as well, so it's a good little add-on, and if you don't have much space, it works really well. As I especially love it for my live classes here, like on my Facebook lives and things, because I can just easily put it on my desk where I can. Sometimes I have to use the larger one. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, my Facebook page is Stamping Flair, and I also have a blog where I post very regularly. So you can, love for you to subscribe to that, and I've got a free newsletter which I send once a week, and then there's some promotional stuff which I send in between as when we have something like celebration, which we just had. So I will you can get the links for that. And I post my videos to YouTube, so that's just another way. If you like to connect with me, you can. I'm based in Australia, so any purchases you make, if you're in Australia, you can do that if you like. So with this, it gives a lovely border. So depending on how wide your piece of cardstock is, you can have a wider border. If you make like your fancy fall cards, this would work perfectly, like one of those bendy cards, and great for an interactive card. But I didn't use it in that way this time. So if you notice, I've just cut it down a bit, and then I did color the balance in. So I'd love for you to comment, chat, yeah. And if you drop in on my Facebook page, please say hi, introduce yourself. Any help you require, definitely message me. I will get back to you. And after I finish this, if you have further questions, even on this, just contact me. Happy to help. Always good to get our creativity going, isn't it? Thank you, Stephanie, for having us here. It's been awesome to be able to share with others this way. And how good is it we get World Card Making Day? Just because we need an excuse, right, to craft. The next thing we will do is die cut. I'll just do one of these, and just to show you how it comes up. I've got colors and dyes and everything. Right. So this one's got some washi, so this should help. So I'm starting with this side because this too has a bit of a border which you can use. So I'm going to cut the one on the end first. And with the trees, some of them weren't, when I cut them, they didn't match up 100%, but it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. That needed that sandwich further up, so I'll run that again. The one below had slipped, so I didn't run that end one, which I may not need in the end, but just in case. So you get that. So it is attached to the cardstock. So if you want to use this as a card on your card front, you can. Die cut directly into that card. So what I did was cut apart these trees and then layered it. I will show you the darker color as well. Just very quickly, and then make sure you just check out the tips that are being shared today, because in that I am sharing some other ways that I have tips that I use for this card, so you'll get more ideas. and how I created the base and things. That's part of my the tips I'm sharing today. So I hope you get lots of out of those the knowledge base that's here today. So I'm going to trim that. That's not colored in much, but that's okay. So you can see if we take that and that, it's different and just adds more depth at the back, like you would in a forest. Some darker colors and a mix of lighter colors. So I'm going to leave it at that with my demonstration, but just to give you some little ideas what I've done, I check out the photos of my tips for today. I used some card scraps and changed this designer series paper. So that's the designer series paper. I have altered that by adding little strips in between, so it coordinates with my project. Use the layering circles dies there, and I've layered some ribbon. This ribbon is actually this mint macaron ribbon, which I colored with a soft succulent stamping blend again to coordinate with my project. So I hope you have enjoyed that, and we will be able to use some of those ideas, and can't wait to see what you create. If you do, just drop me a message. So I'd love to see your creations. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to catch up with you either on my blog or Facebook, whatever you're comfortable with, and whenever you can, you're free. Just say hi, and thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day of World Card Making Day. Hope you get lots of creating in your day today.